Hello and welcome, my name is TheTwinleafMatt and you are watching today my very first YouTube video on the TwinleafTwo channel. I have been playing Pokemon all my life, I am a certified Gen 1er, and have decided to become a Poketuber with my best friend TwinleafMax. Today we're going to be doing the first video in a series of videos called Which Eeveelution is Best? How we will determine this is by playing each Eeveelution in its original game that the Eeveelution premiered in. I will be judging the Eeveelutions on time to defeat its original game, my personal rating, how easy it was, as well as the level it finished the game at relative to the champion's highest level Pokemon. The first Eeveelution we will be testing today is my personal favorite Pokemon of all time, Vaporeon. Vaporeon is a water Pokemon that evolves from Eevee using a water stone. Vaporeon is a special attacking high HP tank that is a very strong Pokemon. At the time of me writing this, I have already completed the run and believe that this Eeveelution will have the best time of the original three for various reasons. I started out by reminding Professor Oak of my name, TwinMatt, along with the name of my rival, TwinMax. I went to Professor Oak's lab where Vaporeon was waiting for me in the Squirtle slot. I wanted to make the run as difficult as possible, so I put Vaporeon in the slot that would make Max pick the Bulbasaur. I named my Vaporeon Aquafina to remind everyone that Vaporeon is Finna Throw Hands, and went on to battle TwinMax. Vaporeon starts out with a great starting moveset for Gen 1 with Tackle, Sand Attack, Quick Attack, and Water Gun. I quickly defeated Max with a couple of Quick Attacks, did the Viridian Pokemon stuff, got my Dex, and moved on to face Brock. Brock and his Onix and Geodude were a piece of cake, falling to my level 10 Vaporeon with 2 stab water guns. I moved through the next route and Mount Moon, fighting a few too many trainers than I needed to be honest. Aquafina was at a high enough level and would have been fine for Cerulean, but defeated Team Rocket, got to the Fossil Collector, and decided to go with the Dome Fossil because I do what I want. I then went on to face Misty. Misty wasn't a difficult fight, just very boring. I was pretty annoyed because Misty used an X-Defend on Starmie, but after 13 Quick Attacks and 2 Sand Attacks, I had defeated the Water Gym and earned the Cascade Badge. It was time for me to face Max for the second time. Max started out with Aquafina against Pidgeotto. I didn't get an Oko with Bubble Beam, and the worst thing that the Pidgeotto could do did it, and it Sand Attacked me. I then proceeded to miss not 1 or 2, but 3 Quick Attacks before it finally went down. Abra and Rattata were easy, but I wasn't feeling good when he sent out Bulbasaur. A combo of Growl, Leech Seed, my lower accuracy, and Vine Whip was enough to beat me. I tried again, and this time the Pidgeotto went for Gust, which was the better option for me. I then took it down after a Bubble Beam with a Quick Attack. Again, Rattata and Abra went fairly quickly, and Bulbasaur was much easier, and I took it down with a few Quick Attacks as well. I beat Nugget Bridge, fought my way to Bill's house, and received the SS Ann ticket. I made my way through the SS Ann and went to fight Max for the third time. Here's how it went. Pidgeotto was out first, and now, Aquafina at 10 levels higher, I was able to Oko it with Bubble Beam. I Oko'd the Raticate and was on to Kadabra. I wasn't sure if Kadabra would be taken down by a Body Slam, which I had replaced Tackle with, so I went for a Bubble Beam since Aquafina's special is much higher than its attack. Kadabra with its high special, which is both special attack and special defense in this gen, survived the Bubble Beam, and got hit so hard with it though, it tried to teleport away, but I was way too fast, caught him with a Quick Attack before he was able to. I then got a critical hit Body Slam to take out the Ivysaur. After beating my rival, I medically massaged an old man, and for his insurance copay, he paid me with a cut HM. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to beat Surge, but I wanted to try. I took out all the trainers in the gym for a little extra EXP, took a few attempts to solve the worst Pokepuzzle of all time, and I was on to face LT Surge. Voltorb didn't quite die to a Body Slam, so Aquafina followed with a Quick Attack. Pikachu went down to a single Body Slam, so it was time to face Raichu, the only thing that was worrying me for this run. Raichu outsped me, hitting me with a Thunder Shock, which is lucky on my part. Generation 1 AI could have gone and picked Thunderbolt, and if Surge critted, Aquafina may have been in trouble. Luckily at level 33, Aquafina brushed off that little spark and hit back hard with Body Slam, paralyzing Raichu. I then finished off Boomer Pikachu with another Body Slam and earned the Thunder Badge against Lieutenant 90 Soda. I made my way through Rock Tunnel, and it was time for the fourth rival fight against Max in Lavender Tower. Max sent out his famous Pidgeotto, but it went down quickly to a Bubble Beam. I then took out Gary 2 with 2 Body Slams. Growlithe and Kadabra were both OHKO'd with Bubble Beams, and then took out Ivysaur with 2 Body Slams. Once I beat rival number 4, Max, I went to Celadon City. Honestly, once I got to Celadon, the run became ridiculously easy. I'm overleveled at this point, and I'm able to pick up Ice Beam from the little girl on top of the Celadon department store. So let's cut right to the Erica battle and then the Giovanni battle. Here's Erica. I'm not going to even narrate it, just watch me OHKO Erica and then Giovanni with 3 Ice Beams apiece. After Erica and Giovanni, I made my way to Lavender Tower to save Mr. Fuji. After Fuji gave me the Poke Flute, I went back to Celadon, woke the Snorlax, and made my way to Fuchsia City via Cycling Road, not stopping to fight any of the bikers. I went to the Safari Zone, I picked up Surf, taught it to Aquafina, and went to Koga. Here's how it went. Koga started out with a Coughing, which I took out with Surf. He followed with Muck, who I took out with a Surf Ice Beam combo. His second Coughing I took out with an Ice Beam. He then sent out his level 43 Weezing, who I took out with a few Ice Beams. I decided to take on Blaine before I went back to Saffron. Blaine was predictably a cakewalk when I surfed his entire team. I moved on to Saffron to face Max 5 and Giovanni. Max 5 started out with a Pidgeot, which got taken out with an Ice Beam from Aquafina. He then sent out his Gary 2, who was the only Pokemon I was worried about, but took him out pretty easy. The rest of the fight was a Growlithe, Alakazam, and Venusaur sweep. I picked up the Lapras for a Strength Buddy, and moseyed my way to Giovanni. Giovanni started out with Nidorino, and it went down to a Surf. Then he sent out Kangaskhan, which went down to a Surf. Then he sent out Rhyhorn, which went down to a Surf. He then sent out his Nidoqueen, which went down to a Ice Beam. Went down to an Ice Beam. It was time for the hardest leader in a base Gen 1 run, Sabrina. Being like 8 levels above her highest Pokemon, I wasn't worried here. Kadabra went down to a Double Edge, Mime to a Surf, Venomoth to an Ice Beam where it paralyzed me, and the battle almost got sweaty. But the Alakazam used a first turn recover, which I then sent it to the grave with a Double Edge crit. Just fighting Giovanni before, he was fresh in my mind, and I wanted to bully him some more, so it was time for the Viridian Gym. I beat Giovanni by taking out his team with an OHKO Surf and Ice Beams. I healed, and it was time for Twin Max number 6. Moist Onyx was the only issue that I had, but took him out in a few turns. Everything else was an OHKO. I went through the Victory Road so I could make my way to the Elite Four, and it was finally time. Lorelei was going to be difficult. Her team consists all of water and ice Pokemon who are special tanks. I was worried, but knew once I got through her, it wouldn't be as hard of a run. She started out with her Dewgong, which was difficult. I tried to use Double Edge, but found it wasn't that strong. I started to Acid Armor Badge Boost and took it out with a crit Double Edge. Cloyster went down to 2 Surfs after discovering that Double Edge did nothing. I found a rhythm here and that Surf was going to be the best move, so on the Slowbro, I stuck with Surf. Jinx hit hard with a Thrash. It took 2 Surfs to take her out, and then on to Lapras. Lapras came out and confused me. I kept surfing, but the confusion made me hit myself a few times, but luckily my attack was so low I wasn't doing that much damage. I took it out and beat Lorelei. Bruno, as always, a joke. I took out each Pokemon with a combo of Surf and Ice Beam. It was time for Agatha. Agatha's first Gengar kept trying to Dream Eat me, so I was able to take it out with a few Surfs. Golbat went down to an Ice Beam, and it was Haunter time. Haunter I thought would go down to 2 Ice Beams, but I got a low roll on my second Ice Beam when it healed. I took it out with a third Ice Beam, so she sends out Arbok. I almost took out Arbok with a Surf, but in its dying gasps, Aquafina felt bad and got paralyzed. Aquafina got over it quickly though, and took out the dumb snake with a Double Edge. I was feeling pretty good for Gengar too, but a combination of paralysis, Nightshade, and confusion took me out and I lost. I taught Vaporeon Toxic to deal with Lorelei, and that battle went fine. In the last battle, I realized that Surf was my best move, so I used that instead of messing with Double Edge. Bruno was a joke, and now for Agatha too. Agatha's AI woke up, and Gengar started out with a Confuse Ray. I then proceeded to take it out with 2 Surfs. OHKO'd the Golbat, and was feeling good. Haunter then came out, and my luck changed. I hit myself in confusion, and then was put to sleep. After being asleep for the max amount of turns and getting knocked down to under 100 HP, I finally woke up and took out Arbok with a Surf, and then Haunter with 2 more Surfs. Gengar came out and hit for 60 damage with a Nightshade, and a Toxic taking me down to 4 HP. Gengar decided to heal at that point though, and I was able to take him out with a Surf. Here's my reaction. Yes. Ooh, that was sweaty. That was so sweaty. After Agatha, I went to Lance. Lance was easy. I got through his dragons with Surf, Toxic, and Ice Beams. It was time for Max number 7. Max sent out Pidgeot, and I sent out Aquafina. Pidgeot outsped me with Mirror Move doing nothing, and I got a Gen 1 miss. On the next move, it went for Sky Attack, and I was able to take it out. On Alakazam, I thought I'd be able to take it out with a Double Edge. However, it took 2. And in that time, I took a lot of damage between Recoil and some heavy Psychics. By the time Rhydon came out, I only had 107 HP. I took out Rhydon with an Ice Beam, but Moist Onyx came out and hit me with a Hyper Beam, ending that run. I had 10 rare candies and I was at a crossroads. I wasn't sure if I wanted to level up to sweep the Elite Four, if I wanted to keep trying at the level I was at. I decided to stick with the level I was at. This time, I didn't teach Vaporeon Toxic and tried the Elite Four again. I easily made it through Lorelei, Bruno, Agatha, and Lance this time. Made it back to my rival, and here's how it went against Max. I knew Pidgeot couldn't do much to me, so I decided to badge boost using Acid Armor twice. I took out Pidgeot after a single Ice Beam and Alakazam with 2 Double Edges. I then took out Rhydon with an Ice Beam. I was in a much better place for Wetkins this time, and used Acid Armor to reboost. After the level up, took out my original boosts. I took out Wetkins with 2 Ice Beams, took out Arcanine with a Surf, and was ready for Venusaur. Venusaur came out, and with 2 Ice Beams, I won the Indigo League Championship from Twinleaf Max. With resets and everything, including me walking away and using the restroom and getting water, it took me 3 hours and 18 minutes real life time. I believe this will be the quickest of all Eeveelutions, and the lowest level to win the championship. But you tell me. Let me know in the comments below who you think will be the best Eeveelution in their original generation. I plan to do 1 video for each Eeveelution. If you like this, let me know by liking the video and commenting below. I'm the Twinleaf Matt. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe to the TwinleafTwo. I'll see you next time.